Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm Steve from London. Started a new business called SoCommercial. Has a little jingle that I'm not going to play right now for you, otherwise you'll lose all your listeners and viewers. And it's a new game-changing commercial marketplace where you can list any type and size and space, from very, very small spaces to very big spaces and everything and anything in between. You can list for free, and you deal direct with no brokers in the middle. So you deal with the the lister.
Individual desks. List or discover over 100 space types in one place. List your space in minutes. Rent by the hour, day, month, or year. It's that flexible. SoCommercial, the marketplace for business space.
Diversified game. Learn how to start, run, and sustain your business.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today we are going to get so commercial with you, with Steve. He's going to get you with his accent, because you know the accent in America can open up any door when you come from the UK. But he's really going to get you too with SoCommercial and what it does. I'm excited to learn where we can use this. Can we use it in America? Can we use it in Canada? Can we go to Kenya and say "Uhaligani mambo po asana" and use it there? We're going to go see. Steve, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. What a wonderful introduction. That is very, very cool. The Kenyan bit is really throwing me. I'm still trying to work out what's going on here. And for those that can't really understand me, you always have the translation option and the subtitles. Because occasionally I do think we speak the same language, but that is less and less frequent these days.
Well, we have leadership that doesn't even speak the language and makes clacks that are not personally like, who wrote this? Oh, okay, he wrote it himself. So yeah, I've been putting subtitles not because of anybody's accent, but I've been putting it because AI has just gotten that better, and it kind of helps. So you know, with just whom's listening, but please let us know, is this something that can be used in Europe, where in Europe, as well as North America?
Okay, great questions. So we're a startup, and like many startups, you are small, strapped for cash a little bit, and have to utilize what you do have very effectively and strategically. So we decided that we're focusing at the moment on Miami, or North America really is where we will land up. So it is not available in other countries for sure. It is really only available in the States. And quite frankly, if you make it in the States, you don't need to go anywhere else.
Well, yeah, because we buy up everything, things we don't even need. And if you're from California like me, living in Florida, you say, I don't need just one property. I need a couple properties. And, you know, we know how to spend some money. But we learn from the UK. And one thing I would say, you know, and why I asked about even the UK, not just because of your accent, was because we know spaces are tighter in Europe. And, you know, maybe there's a need for that, but it might cost you way more than you want to pay.
So
It's
yeah, no, I hear you. But the whole point with SoCommercial, there's a clue in the name. It's really commercial spaces only that we're focusing on. The residential market is more than well covered. And I figured when I saw a gap inside the commercial market. So it's any type and size of commercial space. So if you have a little bit of space. So the idea came really from came out of the pandemic. So if you have an office and you have a spare desk in the office, and you're thinking, well, what can I do with this desk or these desks? You can list the desks. You can list the individual office. You can list the office floor. You can list the office building, and you can list anything in between. And it's not just offices, anything commercial from A to, see, now I'm going to say Z, but I'm going to say Z because I'm becoming American now, as you can hear. Very American. So literally, you can list anything you want, from a room inside an aquarium to a room inside a zoo.
Ready to dominate your industry with strategy that actually scales? At Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm, we're not just PR experts, we're licensed sports agents certified in AI and elite business consultants with over 2 decades of experience leading global projects across multiple countries. Visit cprfirm.com, that's colemanprfirm.com, and millionairex.ai. Then download the Millionaire X app, your AI-powered guide to getting out of debt, investing smarter, and building generational wealth. Coleman Public Relations and Consulting Firm. It's a family business. It's different.
Now, I have to ask, and I know you said the commercial space. I live in a place in Palm Beach where it's unincorporated. My neighbors have horses. They shoot on their property. We all can. So people say, what about, if I have a horse stable or if I have a big shed, would that qualify where it's not corporate, but people work and, live on their properties and their homes?
Great question, like it. So we are not the regulator. We're not in any way or shape or form regulating what people put on. So we are just the platform or the highway. So if it has a commercial use, you can put it on. Funnily enough, I think we have 150 listing categories, but I don't think we have horse boxes or horse stables, funnily enough. So I'm going to make a note, and that's going to be what I'm going to put on after this is finished, because I figured I covered all the bases, but I clearly hadn't.
Awesome. Please let me know. I want to see that link. I know I wanted your video, and I asked Kat, the publicist. You guys can Google her if you need any PR needs. I know you say, Kellen, but you guys do the same thing. I know, but I like Kat. Known her for probably a decade at least. And she always has some interesting clients and just a good person and affordable too. So you guys go check her out. With that, horses, let me keep on talking because I'm going to be like, hold on. I got some septic tanks that are empty too. Maybe we can attach like we go far out, right? What made
that?
Go ahead.
But you got but you got it. The whole point started really with one thought, and from that one tiny seed, you develop another thought, and then you end up building a tree with 10 branches and 100 branches. And the idea is really any type of commercial space that you have and stuff clearly that I hadn't thought of. And the more traditional spaces, offices, retail, warehouses, you think about the amount of fractional space inside those categories. There's loads. I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, if you think about it, what was the value of a back bedroom before Airbnb came along? And you go, probably nothing. So you say, what is the monetization of value of all these fractional spaces in the commercial world? And the answer is a lot.
Definitely. And you said there's loads. Before that, I'm talking about septic tanks. Oh, I'm thinking you guys want to hide your crypto wallets? We can tape them right there in loads of, what's in septic. I bet you nobody is going to go look for it. It's going to be safe.
It might be a bit smelly. It might be a bit smelly. I don't know. It might just say it might be.
Yeah. So here you guys, we're brainstorming as we go, thinking about what you can do with, regulators. One thing, America has laws on top of laws. When you started this, I'm sure family and friends were like, okay, if you hit big, I'm for you. If not, how was it?
Yeah, if not, lose my number.
Yeah. And an idea like this, even though people have seen Airbnb, I would assume most people didn't get it at first. So talk to us about that, because I want the entrepreneur who's thinking of that crazy idea not to be scared to say their idea, not to be scared to write it down, write the vision down, make it plain. Let us know when you came up with this and shared it with family, friends, possible business, potential VC angels. What did they say to you?
It's a good question. So a lot of people said to me, which actually is true, this is going to be a difficult business because unlike a product where you need a customer or a service where you need a customer, here you're building two sides of the marketplace. You need the lookers and you need the listers. So it's a doubly difficult proposition. And people say to me, since I've been building it, how easy are you finding it? And my reply is, it's about as easy as climbing Mount Everest in flip-flops. So it's a difficult challenge, but people said to me, look, this is going to be very expensive, which is true, very difficult, which is true, and a super high rate of failure. So I went, yeah, I really shouldn't be doing this. Great, let's go ahead and do it. Because where there is difficulty, where there is opportunity, there is a marketplace. And I always say to myself, listen to everyone, believe no one, and go ahead and make your own decision. Because if you talk to people, you do need feedback. You do need to listen, but you need to be your own filter as well. Because we live in a world that is super, super noisy. You've got fake experts, real experts, and just no experts. And you've got to try and decipher the information, because somebody is sitting in front of a camera today and telling you something doesn't make it true, doesn't make it real. And if it does make it true and does make it real, it may not make it true and real for you. So you have to be really careful, but listen to what people are saying sensibly, because everything everyone told me is sensible and is true. But notwithstanding those truths, I still went ahead, took my own opinion, given my own background, my own commercial skills, and thought, this is going to be challenging. But my biggest regret will be, and would have been, not to have started it. Because not to have started something for me, and I used to be younger and give people advice. You should do this, you should do that. I never do that today. Everyone's universe is different. Everyone's circumstances are different. You know, the old adage, never give up, never give up. Well, actually, in some people's situations, you should give up. And in other people's situations, you shouldn't give up. So I never give blanket statements or advice anymore. I guess that's the older gray hair and lack of hair coming through these days that gives you that perspective that you don't have when you're a little younger. So that was really what prompted me to go ahead and do that, thinking actually I do have some skills in the old locker box. I do believe there is a demand. And I think that if this is going to work, and we're already showing signs of promising success, we have listers, it's free to list. I made it very intuitive, the site. I made it very user-friendly, because I think when you're using a site, you have to bear in mind those that are not tech savvy, those that perhaps have never listed a space. And you also have to have the universe to incorporate those that are very professional, those that are used to listing. And so you need that element of ease to use, very friendly, but equally very professional for those that need the professional tools for listing spaces.
Hello everyone. Come along with London and Sydney as they show you around the vibrant country of Cameroon. We explore the heart of Africa through the eyes of London and Sydney. Two explorers who journey across the great city of Yaoundé, exploring its rich culture, vibrant market squares, cultural heritage, and wildlife. With giggles and excitement, London and Sydney Explore Cameroon takes you on a fun-filled adventure, providing insight into the country's culture and traditions through the pages of this book. It's packed with exciting stories and super cool facts about Cameroon that will make you go, wow. Get your copy now. Available on Amazon and in libraries near you. There's only one easy way to experience the exploration of Cameroon, and it's through London and Sydney. Don't wait, get yours.
And the best and probably some of the brightest ideas, they say, are at the graveyard. So if you guys don't get your stuff out, man, it's going to be sitting at the grave. So I love that you said that. We live in a litigious society here in America. What are you doing to protect people's stuff? Because I could just see someone saying, look, I put all of my Picassos, all of my Banksies in a facility I found on your website, and it's disappeared. Maybe Banksy blew it up. But, what are you doing to protect that? Is there any assurance that people have to have?
Okay, so unlike Airbnb, where they are the renters, they take a fee, we are just a listing platform. So the other thing, being commercial, you assume you're dealing with commercially minded people, albeit some people that are perhaps never sublet or subrented. And there are some tips and guides that we will be putting on the site as we go further down the line. But it is up to the people that are renting coming up with some sort of commercial contract, coming up with some sort of guides as to what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And we do have some tips and pointers because you're right. Commercial lettings, you need to be careful. You need to have a proper contract. So I would always suggest go and speak to a friendly lawyer that can give you some proper advice as to what you should do, what you shouldn't do, the terms of the contract, the clause, the length, the lease, getting deposits, getting the space photographed before and after. Because you're right, you don't want disputes. I rented the space in this condition, you gave it back to me in that condition. So you need to take all the reasonable precautions that you feel are necessary. Photographing the space is one, having a proper contract is the other, the terms of engagement, what you can do in the space, what you can't do in the space, the hours you're taking it for, any terms and conditions, noise regulations, etc. But I recommend speaking to a friendly lawyer if you can go down this route.
And what was the most, who wants this more? The person who has the space, or are people looking for space where it caught on fire? I want to get into the mind of like that first person for the listing and the first person who you might know who used it. How did that work, and who needs this more so far?
Wow, you ask a really great question. And the answer is both, depending on where you are. Because the other thing with the site that I put on, I thought was very important, is you can do deals. So if you've got a space sitting there, you have a whole section to be able to list, create a deal, rent the space, buy or sell the space, buy its rent or sell, and put an incentive up there. So in order to get space moving, space does nothing for people. If it's not being monetized, it's sitting there collecting dust. So equally, there's a new hybrid work style mindset that exists now. And if you've got, let me give you an example. This is what came to mind. If you've got a restaurant or a bar and you've got dead or unmonetized hours, in a heartbeat on my site, you can repurpose that as a co-working space. You can state the hours, you can state the time, you can even put up a little incentive and a QR code and voucher to give discounted food and drink. So if you've got a top floor doing nothing during, let's say, 10 or 9 till 4 or 5, then it gets busy, list that. So you can monetize unused hours as well as unused spaces. And I think there is a demand for people who, you just need to go to out in the street, see people working their laptops anywhere. So in addition to regular offices, there is an alternative marketplace for space. Also retail. You think of the number of retailers that have additional space, either a basement that wants to be rented out for additional storage or collaboration. You got retail that needs a bit of a boost. You want to do a collab, or backgammon clubs and card clubs that are springing up all over Miami now, which are fantastic. So you've got a restaurant and you want to repurpose part of the space or some of the space as cards, backgammon, social events. The uses, as you point out at the beginning, are almost limitless.
You've tried it your way, but you're still in debt. Or maybe you're doing okay, but want to invest smarter, grow faster. 𝐿𝐼𝐴 gives you real step-by-step strategies to ditch debt or stack wealth. Stop dreaming and start planning. Visit 𝐿𝐼𝐴 today. I want you to be the next millionaire next door.
They are. And I'm even thinking, about space for good. Nonprofits always need space. Kids who need a place to have a photo shoot or have their skateboard. Sometimes the Karens get at them for skateboarding. I don't know what they'd rather them to be doing, but if you don't let them skateboard, they'll do something else. But have you thought of, and maybe this is in your community give back section that I ask everybody, having a space for good, and if not yet, what is a community give back that you are doing or that you would like to do? Because I believe your business has been in business for at least 7 years.
No, shorter than that. We've been around much shorter. We're still in startup stage.
Oh, still in startup stage.
Okay.
Okay.
Startup stage. Yeah.
Maybe I was in your brain thinking that.
Yeah.
He's thinking about it for 7 years.
Wow, it's been in my head somewhere in the universe that long, which hasn't manifested into something that's digital at that point. But by the way, I think you're right. I think every business should be able to give back something somewhere. I think giving back in today, not even today's day and age, just as somebody, I have a deep belief in making the people and the community around you a better place as a result of your existence. Life is short. We're here and gone. And if you can do something small, it doesn't have to be big, grand gestures. It can be very small things for people around you. I think giving back in any way, shape, or form that you can is an important part. Number one, of who we are as human beings. Number two, of a business, if you could do something meaningful. I'm not talking about these gestures where you see businesses that have big banners, we're in support of A, B, or C, or whatever it is. that, you know, anyone could say that, but talking about really doing something tangible and meaningful and useful to the people and environment around you, I'm off your page. I think it's very important.
Yes. And, you know, with the startup phase being there, can you let people know? Because people say, well, you know, do you need what's the budget to start something like this? Do you need millions? Because some people can get, you know, VC money and angels very easily, but this is the type of business that I would think that, you know, you can start it by yourself and then it can just kind of avalanche and keep snowballing and snowballing and snowballing with ideas. But when you started it, did you have, you know, the big budgets? Did you go to the SBA or your local Florida funders, which is a venture capital firm that I have an affiliation with, you guys? I'm a small member. But, you know, tell the people how it started, because so many people have a hard time starting.
So, by the way, before I answer that question, and I'm sure someone's going to pick this up on the behind you, there was something electrically crawling right behind you, and it's now out of it. Is that something that cleases the ball?
It's
An electronic mouse. Those electronic mouse. Like, why is that? As you're talking to me, you can see it disappearing behind you. Sorry, I just got distracted.
No, it's all good. Yeah. At first, when you said crawling, and I'm like, that lion that is down the street, because the zoo is down the street. I was about to go underneath and show you how American I really am.
But or then shoot what? Then shoot it, or just feed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Internet will have you think you can just grab a stick when you see a lion and it'll be scared of you. Don't believe it.
Exactly. Then you're riding the lion and don't believe that either.
Yeah. Not me, Ellie. I don't know.
So going back to your question, it's been self-funded to this point, which is becoming interesting, and funding is always very difficult. And the truth is this, you know, had you said to me, and I've got a lot of business experience behind me, it would have taken longer, and I believed I would have done it quicker. I believed I was going to do it for half the price. Everyone told me you're never going to do it in half the price. So I was like, forget it. I know what I'm doing. Me, if I can't, no one can. And yeah, double the budget, double the time. It just moves, because what tends to happen, especially in tech, and this is a new experience having a full digital business, is that tech moves. You know, you've got different operating platforms before you begin, which chews up money. Then you've got to check that what you've built works across all those platforms, cost you levels of money again. Then you're making changes, and then you're building it on the fly, which tends, the way other people are more disciplined than me. It's just the way that I work. I come up with an idea in my head. I go, build it, they will come. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And you get a wireframe, you get the basics in your head of what it should be. And then I start changing it. And then I polish it, then I change it again, and I work hard on it. I look at it, I put the pen or the computer lid shut. I go, that's fantastic. The next morning I wake up and go, what were you thinking? That's rubbish what you've written. You can do it better today. So that creative process continually drives you to make changes until you get something. But that's me. Other people can do it probably more one and done than I'm able to do. And that costs time, that costs money. But if you're launching something, it does need to be right. And I know, and this is where I'm going to disagree with a lot of people out there that gave me this advice. And by the way, when you're giving advice to people, if it's not solicited, be careful, because people gave me a lot of advice. I mean, I didn't ask you for that advice. I didn't ask you for your opinion at this moment. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll say, hey, what do you think of this? And then I have to be receptive and open to the feedback. So people said to me, oh my God, must be old age. I've lost my train of thought now. People will say, oh, that electronic mouse behind you completely throw me off. So people said to me, it's going to take you longer than it will to build. And I went ahead anyway to do it, because you need to be able to have that vision and believe in that vision. But this is dangerous, because I've seen people on Shark Tank and they put all their life saving into something, believing in something. And commercially, I look at it and I agree, not always with the sharks. You agree with them and go, yeah, I think that was a silly move. So you can't ever go full out, but testing something, and you have one chance to go live. This is the point I was going to make. People say, oh, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I agree. There's no such thing as perfection, especially me. I like to, but if you're going to launch it, it needs to work. It needs to look professional. The buttons need to click and do what they say they're going to do. You get one chance at going live. So these people that tell you and me and others, it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be this. This is what I call the general advice that is everything but a bit nonsense, because it's wrong. It does need to work. It does need to look professional. That's if you want to look professional. Some people don't. But if you do, and you click a button, in my world, again, it's just the way that I work. I'm open. Everyone has their different ways of doing things. I like to be professional when I launch something. I like it to look good and I like it to work. But hey, that's just me. Other people are going to disagree with that, but that's just a personal thing. I'm a bit attention detail. I like things to look good and I like things to be able, especially if it's tech, you click a button, it needs to take you to the place that you think it's going to. And I spent a lot of hours, probably thousands of hours, making sure that when you click the button, it took you to the page that you thought it was going to, that the user experience was very friendly, that it was easy, and that it was intuitive. And many websites that you come across don't tick all three boxes. And for me, that was very important to make sure that the experience is going to be useful and easy.
Very, very true. And you guys know the purpose of these interviews to show how people started, sustained, succeeded. But he just gave you also some life advice. And married people, you guys can take this too. If someone's not asking your advice, you don't always have to tell them an opinion. Just listen sometimes. That's the problem with relationships. Everybody is trying to fix somebody. No, just listen. Be a therapeutic ear and say, okay. With everything working, I think when we buy something, we want everything to work. And that's the beauty of Amazon, that we can send it back if it doesn't. We buy things all the time, big and small. So we appreciate that. What is success to you with this startup? Is it getting, let's say Airbnb says, we want to buy you. Is that success? Is it expanding it, globally and, bootstrapping and continue to bootstrap? What is success to you?
So you ask I love your questions. They really are fantastic. Success is a number of things. And I think, look, the big picture, if you said to me, was the business sold for billions of dollars? You go, yeah, that's one measure of success. But when you wind it all the way back and you go, look, everyone wants to think, not everyone, but if you're in business, you start up with this huge ultimate vision of what it could look like at the end. So you build with the end in mind. But along that building phase, when you're putting the little bricks, brick by brick, and building that business, you have lots of wins along the way. When I got the first listing, that for me was a great win. I was so excited. Then I got another listing. I was like, oh, that's great. And each time I got a ping, someone had listed, someone had seen it. But I went around and still going around talking to people, explaining what the site is. Because it's new, you need to say there is a new option to do things here. Space, it can be done differently. If you've got fractions of spaces, I've given you a platform to monetize small bits of space. Think of a gas station. You walk in, you have all those display stands. And if you have even 2 or 3 square feet spare, you can list those square feet. So it's not a case anymore of listing a huge building, which of course you can do on the site. But if you've got little bits of spaces, you can list those and monetize those spaces now. So success is, and always was, getting people to use it. If you can't get anyone to use your platform, even in one listing, through to hopefully many, many more listings. And by the way, it's free to list. If you've got any spaces, go on there, SoCommercial.com, and list spaces. And I like your analogy with Amazon, because I believe they are probably the greatest company on earth, if not one of them. Customer service is fantastic. You know that if you have a problem, you're going to get it solved, or have a very good chance of getting it solved. You have real people that pick up the phone. You have people that can solve problems. And by the way, anyone running businesses, please get your customer service straight. It is a bugbear of mine, and I apply this in all my businesses that I'm involved in. Your customer service has to be centric. And there are so many big companies, and I just ask the CEOs and all the others with fancy job titles, what are you doing? Go call your own company, see if you can get through. You have to go through hundreds of menus, see how easy your own company is to use externally. because most companies today I've experienced are just not good enough. And America was for years leading the world in customer service. And regrettably, that's not the case today. So I want to make sure that all businesses I'm involved in are very customer centric, customer friendly. That's why at the moment it's free to list. There will be a monetization at some point, but there's not going to be any long-term commitments, because I believe if you have to use terms and conditions and legalities to bind your customers' hands to your service, product, or business, you are not doing a good enough job, because there is no reason you should bind them legally and hold them if they don't want to be a customer anymore. And that's why I love Amazon on so many of those levels. They really, really strike great notes for their customer service, and it's global. And the thousands of people they employ, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions across the world, from the pickers and packers through to the customer service team. Phenomenally well-run business. Honestly, huge respect for that business and the people running it.
Oh, amen. And Amazon even works in African countries, and even if it takes you a little bit longer, just know we're spoiled here in the West, where we can get it the next day, or sometimes even today if we just get this amount. But it's blowing up. Maybe they'll buy Jumia, which is the Amazon of Africa, and Jumia's customer service will do everything that the opposite of what you said. They're still consider themselves a startup, but they're not listening to the locals. But I want to know from you, with creating this, and thank you for talking about what your success is. Where are you making the money? If the listings are free, where people are going to say, well, how do you make money? Is it when I go there and I want to see a listing, I have to pay monthly, annual? Is there a one-time payment? Or give us the game on that, please.
So this is probably the most counterintuitive business I've ever been fool enough to start. And maybe I should have listened to the guys at the beginning. Don't do it. Because actually, the point is, it's painful. It's like building, I guess it's like building a restaurant, actually, or building any commercial space. The money comes later. So at the moment, in order to get the users to build the marketplace, it is all for free. And there will be at some point a monetization model, but I'm also going to be reaching out to anyone that does partnerships. For example, banks, building societies, insurance companies. Sorry, not building societies, that's a British thing. Banks and insurance, scratch that, rewind, edit, didn't say it. Banks and insurance companies, because what our community is going to have is a pool of people that need insurance and need finance. So I will be reaching out at some point to those companies that want to join us as a collaboration. But the model probably, and again, I'm still thinking about whether I'd like to keep it free, but I think there will be a monetization, which will be very simple, which will be probably a freemium model, 1 or 2 listings for free. And then there'll be a monthly subscription. And then people can dip in and out as and when they want, for those that have unlimited listings and require additional functionality that is coming shortly to the site. So there will be monetization. But of course, we'll have sponsorship opportunities, category sponsorship opportunities. If anyone wants to get involved now, certainly reach out and let me know. So there's no shortage of revenue streams, because obviously businesses need revenue. Without revenue, you go bust. But that's not for now. And I think the most important thing we need to focus on is getting people to use the site. So please jump on, list for free, whatever your spaces are. And if you're looking for space, by the way, this is the other thing I did. We solved that headache for you as well, because so many times you're looking for space and you have to do the work. You got to put in the filters, you get the reminders. Here we have a thing called Go Find It For Me, where you put in your criteria of what you're looking for. That is available to the people that are listing, and then the marketplace will hopefully bring you the spaces that you're looking for. So it solves the pain point of when you're looking for commercial space. So we're hopefully as good as we are very good for the listers, creating spaces with all the fun things that we've got in there, and all the tools and the tips and the fun elements that describe your environment, as well as solving the pain point for people that are looking for space, creating that wonderful blend of lookers and listers.
The free model has been written about in various books. I have seen it in real life where people have created things, it starts from a club to a chamber, and then the federal government says, we love your list. We want full access to you, and you can, here you go. There's your Elon check, right? So there's a model in free, because everybody in the States is like, hey, I want to get paid to talk to someone. I want to get paid. You can't even get air for free. I remember when my dad said that in the 80s. He's like, air is going to cost money? Like, this is crazy. So, and this is an international podcast, so you can say whatever you need to say. If you need to say it during Boxing Day, if the audience doesn't know, they're going to get to know. We want people to learn, because that's what's going to crumble some of this country. If we don't learn, there are other cultures out there that do different things, and they are different. Doesn't mean they are deficient, but and it's because I have a love for the UK. I mean, again, even the Foxes treat me good, you guys. So what can we see from you? What can we do to help you push this? Since you're in Miami, I'm here in Palm Beach County. It's cold right now. What can we do to help you?
Thank you very much. Well, I guess just letting people know that we are around. For those people that are in the States, we have the ability to monetize space. And think about what you want if you're looking for space. If you're looking for something, a practice to work from, if you're a consultant, you need a space, as you say, skateboards, storage, go on there, put on your requests. And for those that have spare space that are looking to do something with it, please go ahead and list it. Because even if it is just for sale, then we have a great incentives section to push deals. And if it's for rent, by the way, you're fully in control of your space. On the site, you can list the hours, the day, the time, any special access criteria. So we have really empowered people to be able to monetize their spaces in ways that have not always been easy and or possible.
Have you gone to the local chambers? And there's, probably 55 different type of chambers just in Miami alone, in Dade County. Have you gone to the local chambers? Have you gone to, just all the places and letting them know, even having your AI agent now, sending out emails? And I'm thinking about SBA, SCORE, and Apex Accelerators. Used to be called P-Tech. Thank you, Linda McMahon, for changing the name. But have you gone over there so they know who you are, so people who could benefit and do need storage, doing government contracting, sometimes you need storage to put all the computers or whatever you're selling. Have you reached out to any of those places yet in Miami?
So the answer is yes, we are connected to the local chambers here. There were a few other things you mentioned, which I don't have visibility over and didn't even know they existed. So happy to be, I'm learning something from you. So thank you. And we're still new. We're still really, really new. The site really went live only a few months ago. So it still really is very much in its infancy. So any ideas you've given me have been gratefully received. We'll go back out and reach out to more people. But obviously the choke point as a startup is visibility and getting people to know that you're there. And that is part of the journey we're on. And we're on a fundraising journey at the moment. So anyone that wants to jump on board, certainly reach out and let us know.
And you guys send him the email. Don't send me the email saying, hey, Kellen, what's up with the fundraising? Send it directly over that way. This is yeah, I always get, hey, would that person want to fund me? And it's like, no, why would they want to fund you? They're looking for funding. And then, and I think you have like a background in real estate. So
Yeah.
Real estate is the worst in Florida. I have had kids who I just met say, hey, you got $1 million? I'm in a jam right now. And I'm like, I don't know you. I'm not a bank. Like, you're 21 and you're asking a stranger for $1 million. That doesn't seem strange to you. And never do I look like I have any money. I look homeless, I'm told. I got my Fallen Leaf Lake hoodie on. I'm cool, or my African wear. But yeah. But with that, I want people to go look in the links in the description if you do want to look into the investment part. Yeah, go ahead.
So the journey is going to be encompassing. And I think anyone in real estate would have an opportunity to get involved with a platform which is not, which is quite special, a listing platform that we hope is going to be a new category game changer. I think it's going to be something that sets people's interest alight and sets people free. If you have that space, let's say you've got a little retail unit and half of it you can't do anything with because business is quiet, or you just have too much space in an office or any other type of retail office, warehouse, or commercial environment. Now is the opportunity with my platform that you have the ability to go and monetize that space. So I think the journey is interesting. I think it's certainly not without its challenges, not without its risks, but it's something I've believed enough in to put over 3.5 years of time, energy, and money into. And I'm excited about what the future holds for it.
I'm excited to see, just for all the things that we've aforementioned in this episode. I want you guys to go check it out. Links are in the description, SoCommercial.com. You guys connect. Any last words for the people, Steve?
Feel free. Use the site. Enjoy. If you've got anything good or bad, please feed it back. There's a form section on there. We're always looking to improve what we do and make it better. But this has been fantastic. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot. And as I said at the beginning, I think we do speak the same language often, but not always. And hopefully, if you haven't understood me, you can use the translations.
You guys understood. You overstood. You understood all those good things. You guys go put this on your schedule to go check out his website, SoCommercial.com. Thank you for making it through. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting. I know most of you are listening, but go over to the YouTube, give it some love, give it a share, because I need you to share this game. It will help somebody change their life. You guys be blessed.
Are you tired of the rat race in America? Are you ready to visit the motherland to relax and rejuvenate? Are you ready to explore all that Africa has to offer? Then check out the brand new Diversified Game Academy course, Prepare for My First Trip to Africa. Are you worried about being able to afford the trip? We got you. We will show you how to travel either on a budget or as a baller. Learn how to stress the value of the USD. Did you know that 100 United States dollars is worth over 1,000 South African rand, or 10,000 Kenyan shillings, or 54,250 West African CFA? Are you worried about taking your kids? Get the game from Kellen, a bona fide world traveler, having traveled to almost 20 countries, several of those in Africa. Get the game on taking your kids on their first trips. Learn how to find the best tickets, get the visas, and plan your own adventures in Africa. Don't let Eddie Murphy have all the fun. Plan your own coming to Africa trip starring you, produced by you, and featuring you. If you are ready for a life-changing experience, sign up for our course today, Diversified Game Academy. Get prepared and purchase at diversifiedgame.com.